Welcome everybody, my name's Seth Durvis. This is 93 Driving. Today we're driving a 2001 E55 AMG with a 5.4 liter V8 producing 349 horsepower and 391 pounds of torque just at 3,000 RPMs, and it'll get from 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds, and the quarter mile will cross it at 13.9 at just 103 miles an hour. So with that being said, let's get this show on the road and let's see what this goat has to offer. Alright, here we go, driving the E55, and as you've noticed, I have brought my associate with me, so she'll give us a little insight as well and give her opinions. First opinion, this is old school AMG, and when I mean old school, before this car, AMG was not part of Mercedes-Benz. Yes, we had a C36 and C43 in the late 1980s, but it was still an independent company. It wasn't until this car came out in 2000, late 1999, actually in 2000, where Mercedes had actually purchased half of AMG, and this was the first car that had been developed as a joint venture. Obviously later on, Mercedes didn't go out and purchase the entire AMG, which now they produce a line for every single model out there. But what AMG did with this car was they took Mercedes 5.0 liter V8 and they stroked it to 5.4 liters to produce the power that we mentioned in our intro of 349 horsepower and 391 pounds of torque. Other things that you'll notice in this car is still old school classic Mercedes. Everything feels solid, everything feels great to the touch. One of the things that's pretty impressive is the fact of the windows. You got so much visibility on this car because you have tall windows, and then you have also go pretty far down, which gives you such a great view everywhere you look, which is pretty impressive. Other things that I'll touch base later on is in regards to the feel of how this car feels and drives, because at that time, like I mentioned, it was the first time that Mercedes and AMG were working together to build a car. So there's still certain traits that were old school Mercedes and old school AMG that have not been polished to where they are today. So with those things being said, how about we just go down? I know this is not, it's one of the things, it feels heavy. It really does feel heavy, but it feels well planted. So let's do a little standstill. I know it's not a fast car. 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. In today's standards, it's really not quick. When we've tested cars like the electric EQS that we just tested a couple of videos ago, that does 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, which is pretty quick. But at the time, this car was pretty quick, and it's right up there with the new BMW M5 that everybody loves so much. And of course, that one had a manual transmission, and also the Jaguar XJR. So let's get down to location and let's do a little sprint and see how she does from a standstill. And then we'll do our usual, our Twisty Road and figure out how she does handle, and then we'll do our final thoughts. So let's get to location. Roll the beam. Yeah, we had a little bit of tire spin there, and of course, you know, being a heavy car, and yes, it's not a quick car. Obviously, it's this naturally aspirated V8, no turbo spew out, no electric engines to fire up, or it's just all traditional muscle German car. So yeah, you know, 5.5 seconds, not quick. It did, you know, you had a little tire spin there at the beginning, but then after that, you know, it really did take off, and when torque kicked in, it really did propel it going forward. So I'm not surprised there. The other thing that I'll touch briefly right now, and I'll touch base later on, is the fact that, like old school Mercedes, you have to push the throttle down hard. It's just, you know, it's heavy, but it doesn't communicate that well with you. It doesn't really tell you exactly everything that's going on. But with that being said, let's get down to Twisty Road and see how she handles around the twisties. Obviously, we're not going to push it that hard since it's an old car, 2001 with only 44,000 miles on the odometer. So we got to make sure we get it back home safe so we can find a new owner for it. So let's get down to Twisty. All right, here we go. Our favorite Twisty Road, little 9M3. Since it's an old school, there's no such thing as sports or sports plus. It's just the way it is. Ooh, Mr. Wheelbarrow, what are you doing? First, I have to say, the sound of the engine is pretty, it's got this nice little growl of a big block V8, but there's no real feedback coming out from the steering wheel. And the brakes, you really have to push down hard, and it really does not communicate anything at all. So it's does not make you feel like you want to drive it that hard at Twisty Road, because it lacks a little bit of confidence. There is body roll, believe it or not. I think the suspension's, you know, obviously this car's 21 years old, so the suspension's probably, it's been, you know, has been sitting around for a little bit. We obviously cut up to other cars, but we're not pushing it today. Going up the hill, I think the best thing that I could say is the engine note on this car is what really makes it the entertainment part by going around the twisties. But yeah, even with somebody in front of us, you know, we wouldn't be going that much quicker. It doesn't give you that confidence. So let's head back and do our final thoughts about the E55. As always, before our final thought, let's do another Twisty Road. Let's not forget the bump right here. Give it the gas. It's got ample of torque, I'll give it that, to go up the hill. I mean, I know that minivan was blocking us the other. But yeah, the confidence is not there to carry the speed around the turns. That lack of brake feeling, it's what really holds it back. Same thing with the steering. There's no real feedback in steering as well here. So I think that to sum this Twisty Roads that we've just done is that it is the torque, the engine, that makes it entertaining. And I'll go more in detail in regards to that in my final thoughts. Yeah, even around the bend here, you know, there's a little bit of body roll. So yeah, let's head back to the parkway and take her home. All right, here we go, heading back, and our final thoughts. First and foremost, I'd say this car is pretty comfy. The seats are pretty comfy. How's the back seat back there?
It's good.
Yeah.
But so in your car, it has the same like leather, and it hasn't changed, which I think is pretty cool. Like, yeah.
Okay.
And the windows are very quirky, whatever you call it. And it's very, like, the seats are very comfortable, but it still has like a button, like not like a normal button that we have now. It has like a button that you like push to roll down the windows.
Oh, okay.
And back here, there's like this, and usually they're like nets, but this one's like full on leather. And the sticky
The headrest, yeah. I have to agree with you. It is comfy, and the headrest does feel comfy to lean on. And this car is very good at just cruising down the road like this. It's not good around the twisties. It's not good from a standstill. It soaks up the bumps really well. Really old school tradition. All the buttons feel very, very nice, and nice touch to feel and push. But you know, where it lacks is the feeling of confidence. It lacks the you know, the pedals, you know, the accelerator. You really have to push it hard to get it going. The brakes, you go down, keep pushing until it finally bites, and it doesn't give you the confidence that you need. But as a cruiser down the highway, you know, you have ample torque to get you going, and this is just a perfect example of what just all classic Mercedes were build quality wise. It's absolutely fantastic. Everything really does feel really, really solid and strong. So I'll have to give it top notch on that. And, you know, it's unfortunate there was a small point where, you know, Mercedes did start building some cars that were not up to this standard, and thankfully they are. Now they are. And it's funny to also notice that since there's no technology in this car, everything's analog, you kind of realize when you start driving a car like this how much you do miss certain things, like backup camera, or, you know, having a navigation system, kind of little things like that. It's interesting to see that. So this car is perfect for somebody who's really just wants to remember what an old school solid vault E55 felt like. So those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. You know, we're up to about 9K views a month, where we're getting close to about 200 subscribers. Thank you so much. Look at analytical. You know, most of the people watching the videos are not subscribed, so what are you waiting for? Subscribe, hit the thumbs up, comment. It always does help the channel. I'll try to get back to you guys as much as I can in regards to comments, and turn the notification bell so you know exactly when the next video is coming. And until then, I can't wait to see you guys in the next video, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. So with that being said, bye.
Bye.